everyone, Eric with Arcade Hell, and I'm showing you my 2-wall with TLB attempt, or True Last Boss attempt, for DoDonPachi Daifukatsu Novice 1.5. And you can see that I did this recording on March 12th, which was a Saturday, and this 2-wall was a total surprise to me because I haven't been working on a 2-wall at all. I've been playing lots of Black Label Novice, and then on this Saturday, I had been drinking a little bit, chilling, playing some video games, and decided to just go through all the modes on DoDonPachi Resurrection for the Nintendo Switch, and decided to go back and try out the Novice 1.5 mode again, and got a 2-wall. And on top of that, I was also using this M30 Sega Saturn pad. I never used this thing except here and there. And yeah, it was a really pleasant surprise to get a 2-wall in this game. My first loop commentary will be giving some tips, and then my second loop commentary will be more like a color commentary with technical commentary. Kind of like if I was commentating a live event, which I've never done before. It just sounded like fun. So for shits and gigs, that's what you get in the second loop. And also I just want to say that I hope that this is really useful for any newbies out there that just want to see another newbie's clear of this game and get an idea of what it looks like. So I've been playing, I call myself a newbie because I have a kid. I haven't been playing a whole lot of video games. But I've been playing them for about just shy of a year now. So it was about 10 months at this point whenever I got this 2-wall. And, you know, maybe an hour to a week is about all I get. And I could get a 2-wall. That's sick. So this first level, super easy. In 1.5, you use your hyper to cancel bullets, giving you a little extra safety, as well as to increase your hit counter. But it turns off the score multiplier. So whenever you get the last hit on powerful enemies, you want to make sure you're not in hyper. Bombs also clear your hit counter, and your hit counter slowly drains whenever you're not getting kills. You can also use your laser to keep the hit counter really low. Like you see right now, it's in the red because I wasn't getting the kill on this boss. You keep that hit counter up by holding a laser on it. And I finished stage 1 with, what, 627 hits. Okay-ish score, I guess. I don't know. Not a great score player. I do love playing for score, though. I just find it really engaging. Second stage here, what you'll see typically is I'm going to use the hyper for safety and stream enemy bullets, which means that I will be tapping across the screen to keep bullets concentrated in a single lane, and then you can jerk yourself up diagonally to create a gap in the bullets, and then you can come through that gap and go back across the other side of the screen. For this stage 2 mid boss, I really like to, when he starts shooting that blue fan pattern, I like to, which is his first phase attack, I like to start all the way to the right and inch my way to the left, because otherwise I find that I get myself kind of caught in the two streaming three-shot fans. Then these guys come in from the left and right, and I have a habit of letting them get a lot of shots on the screen from Black Label, where when you kill enemies, it also cancels their bullets into hits. And so it's kind of a bad strategy in 1.5. Here though, you can see I'm letting them all shoot on the screen without just going for the kill, so that my hyper clears their bullets and increases my hit counter. But if you want to make the game as easy as possible, you want to speed kill the enemies. See, here I go off to the right to redirect any shots before I go to the left. I went up and right, redirect, swoop into the left, get the kill on that guy whenever I saw a moment of safety. And now we're on the stage 2 boss. Keeping the laser on so that I can keep my hit counter up. Accidentally triggered an Autobomb. And as you should know, the Autobomb is a lot weaker than a manual bomb. You want to use the manual bomb. Anytime you think you're going to get hit, you should just try to use it. It's really tempting, though, with an Autobomb, to attempt to dodge everything, because the Autobomb will save you. But especially against bosses, it doesn't do nearly as much damage to the boss. So you can find and it doesn't give you as many iframes. So you'll find yourself chain bombing. But no matter. In Novice mode, bombs are also very easy to come by because the bomb ships fully recharge your bombs. If you have full bombs when you collect, then you get an extra bomb stock, increasing your bomb capacity, max capacity. And so, but bombs are easy to come by. You get a bomb at least once per stage, except for stage 1. A little bit of tricky dodging there. These guys that shoot the blue needle bullets, I find it hard to speed kill them, and you want to, though, because they will just fill the screen with bullets. And I got myself trapped in a corner there. I didn't engage hyper soon enough to clear, so blame it on the alcohol, baby. Clearing those bullets with the hyper. Now we got these 2 battleships that come in, and I lose a life on stage 3, which, by the way, is my favorite stage. I love the color palette of this stage. Okay, you can see I had a little bit of streaming of the suicide rushers there, and now we're fighting a big battleship again, and it's going to start streaming over to the left, or the ship starts panning to the left. Killed him pretty quick. See, just streaming the bullets and slowly moving over, and then I came up with an attempt to create a gap, which I failed. That's all right, we're gonna keep on moving. And now I'm triggering an entry into another route. I still don't fully understand how this happens, but I've had some experience with this mid-boss from engaging into this route multiple times, so I'm pretty confident that I can take him out. Activate the hyper because he was getting me trapped in the corner. Use the shot to negate the shot. Use the laser to negate the lasers. And when you use your laser on those purple orbs, you get a lot of hits and stars. So you kind of want to do that as much as you can safely. Just toggling between shot and laser. So now I would be streaming all those bullets, but instead I'm moving left and right to kill the turrets that were on that battleship. Just thinking back, I might have gotten into that route, this alt route with the alternate mid-boss, by collecting a lot of bees or something. Finding the gap there between the bullets, I'm able to take out that big old, I don't know what you call him. I call him the washing machine because I've heard people talk about the washing machine in DoDonPachi, where he's just spiraling out bullets. And he cancels them when you kill him. So you just want to kill him and collect the 1-up. And if you kill him, if a bomb gets triggered during that section and it kills him, you don't get the extend. So you want to probably route to have a hyper there so that you can use a hyper to kill him without getting hit. But I was able to dodge everything and take him out. And now we're on stage 3 boss. You can see that I like to route that phase of shots in a way that takes out or that misdirects that big pink fan blast. Ah, another Autobomb on this guy. That pattern's kind of tricky. And then you can see that I'll tap into my shot to give myself a little extra speed. It looks like I do it other times too, and I don't know why I'm doing that. I played this 2 months ago. But Stage 3 boss down. And you can see here, comparing my score on the left and right, that is definitely not my best score of this run. I mean, all in all, actually, this is a pretty low score run. It only goes over my previous high score because I get into the second loop. So this is not a great example of scoring. I think I was tapping shot there to try to just hear him tapping shot and laser to clear bullets and laser. And maybe I'm just doing that for fun on the controller. Feels good. Kind of a shame that I killed that guy with Hyper because they're worth a lot of points and you don't get score multiplier with the Hyper on, like I said before. I love killing those guys though because they look so fearsome and they're kind of not. If you just hold laser on them, then they usually kill them before their spread gets crazy. Definitely want to try to kill those guys as they're coming down as quickly as possible because they put out so many bullets. Otherwise, use a Hyper to and sit on a side and let them shoot all their bullets at you so that you can increase your hit counter dramatically. So here we have the alt route. I don't know, is this a Mote? Is this Ura route mid-boss? And you can use your Hyper to counter his giant lasers, but your regular laser will not counter them. There is a very consistent way to just dodge his lasers. And you can see that my hit counter got reset there because I let my hit counter gauge deplete while I was in Hyper, which just kills your hit counter. Sweeping left and right, killing these guys as quickly as I can without exposing myself to too much danger. You want to respect the threat zone of these enemy bullets in those denser patterns. Threat zone being, you know, kind of the area around the bullet. You know, giving it more space than the bullet itself. So that if you make an input mistake or you need to give yourself more room to dodge, you have some space to work with and you're not just hugging bullets. There's no advantage to grazing bullets in this game. There is in other games, but not in DoDonPachi. So here would be a good place to stream. Instead though, I'm going to use my Hyper and just soak bullets from my hit counter and destroy that turret tower. Big stars. Yum, 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 yum. Look at this, another Hyper. There is a method to regain your Hyper counter a little bit faster, by the way, by using the laser aura. I want to say speed killing might also get you your Hyper gauge faster. Nice, out of Hyper just in time to kill that guy with the 1300 hit counter. We love that. And this rain of stars. Let's see if my score can actually get over my previous best. Nope, my previous best was in the 300s for that section. And then you want to kill the rocket pods for this boss. See, I picked up that bomb there. I left it on screen and then picked it up late, thinking that I might be able to clear bullets with it, because that's a Black Label thing. It is not a 1.5 thing. See, I'm just kind of just like staying in place a lot for those thicker bullet patterns, waiting for space to appear and then moving through it. You want to misdirect the pod there by staying off to the left and right. I didn't do it very well for the second deployment, or the second movement of the pod, but that's okay. And I had to use 2 auto bombs, but I'm sitting on a hyper and another bomb. I'm gonna get through this boss, I think, without taking any more hits. That was a squeaky dodge. And honestly, I don't know why I used my hyper there. I think that just got rid of my multiplier for killing this boss. I might have a habit of doing that from Black Label, where hyper mode actually engages the counter. It's very opposite of Novice mode in so many ways. So I have a lot of habits from Black Label that are not good for Novice. And then letting these counters all go so that I can just take a sec to chill between stages. Oh, excuse me. One nice thing, I guess, about ending a stage with hyper is you begin the next stage with hyper. So you can start getting your hit counter up very quickly. Make sure you engage your laser while you go past these guys, and if you have hyper on with those lasers, I'm pretty sure it would increase your hit counter very quickly. You can see I did a little restreaming technique there. Create a gap, dodge through it, misdirect the big blue cannon shots from the tank before getting underneath him and taking him out. Squeaky dodge there, and these guys, you know, coming down on these columns, this is very specific to the route that I'm on right now. They deploy differently in the non-alt route. Using hyper, I activated hyper earlier for those really thick pink bullet patterns, and then that boss immediately ends and you're put into these suicide rusher guys who are pretty dangerous in this section. They just really rain down a lot of pink bullets. I wasn't able to restream it properly. And then I really wanted that golden bee to cancel bullets like it does in Black Label, but it doesn't. What a scrappy clear. How the heck did I even pull this off? How did I get into the 2-wall with so many deaths? Using the hyper to get through this. Tiger Lily section. The laser wheels of death. There's a way to route this. I will post in the description a video that's a guide on routing the laser wheels. It's really helpful. I don't use it very strictly. I kind of, you know, do my own route and used that to encourage me to find some form of route through this section. But I've changed it a lot in Black Label because, with all the Black Label that I play, because you can get your hit counter up so high in this section using your hypers. But hey, not too bad. What, I took 1 hit so far in this? 1 Autobomb hit at that. A lot of bullets there, but the building that I just destroyed on the left is a bullet cancel. So I used that to get myself out of that sticky situation. Using the hyper to clear all these guys. laser wheel coming up from behind, I like to get up high and then enter in over here on the right. And this is going to be tricky for me because this is very different from Black Label. But hey, I made it through. I just found my way through those corridors. And now I need to, you like that, you gotta hug low like that and then find your way through the those pods without hitting them. You can see I'm trying not to move too much, just letting the bullets come down, finding my path, using Hyper now to deal with this erratic section. Of course, Hyper makes these sections even more erratic. There's higher bullet speed, there's probably higher bullet density, but it clears bullets pretty damn well, so. And now just wave, I just wave left and right to get through this section and just kill them as quickly as I can. You can see that I went up high and then I slowly moved left to keep bullets streamed over there off the screen. Now let's see if we can get through to this tank. Okay, killed the tank. It doesn't have a bullet cancel, but by destroying that building, I was able to get a bullet cancel and give myself some breathing room. A second building down for another bullet cancel. I can tell you right now, I definitely have a hard time getting through some of those tighter bullet patterns using a foreign pad like the M30, which is a terrific pad, by the way, but just a lot more comfortable using an arcade stick nowadays. And speaking of which, I use the 8-bit Do arcade stick. I've just come to really love these 8-bit Do products. They're very well made, good batteries, solid controllers. Probably my favorite controllers to use with are all made by 8-bit Do. Luckily, killing that big Black Hawk-like thing gave a bullet cancel on those turrets' bullets because it was giving me some problems. But here we go through that laser column section, and now we got this gigantic cannon battleship. I'm just gonna hyper through it. Like, didn't even give him a chance to put out a bunch of bullets. Easy. And you see, I'm not killing the helicopters, letting them shoot their bullets into my hyper so that I can get additional hits. I didn't get many, but I got something. Now we get the suicide streamers and just streaming their bullets down. And now we're gonna enter the stage 5 boss. This boss is tough. Use a hyper to make sure that I get through that. I think I really didn't want to get hit, deploy an Autobomb, and lose my hit counter. But I'll tell you right now, I'm calling it. I get hit at some point in this fight. This fight is so hard to get. This, yeah, especially on this pattern. This pattern's hard too. Okay. Oh, also, it looks like... Okay, I might have kept my counter going by engaging a hyper after I deployed the bomb. No, maybe auto bombs don't kill your hit counter. I was wrong. And there I'm just macroing the blue bullet patterns. And then here I like to typically move under the canisters. And they kind of wave around. So you just move under their origin and then find the gap in their horizontal streams. Find the vertical gap. This pattern's kind of tough, but you want to just dodge left and right around the entirety of the purple laser pods. And boom, here you go. You see I got another hyper to get through this section. I'm chilling way off to the side. Probably not doing any damage to the boss. Oh. And these explosions have much smaller hitboxes than they appear, so you just want to avoid the center. Damn, another death right before taking out the stage 5 boss, so I have 1 life left. How did I get into loop 2? I don't understand how the loops work in this well enough that I could make that. Maybe I'll add something on screen right now with an explanation, if I can find it. But I'll tell you what, I'm happy that I made it through. And so you can see that my score of... What the hell is that number? Is it 8 million or 8,726,364,361 is lower than my previous total high score of 10 billion. But we have a second loop. So Hell has made it into the second loop with 1 life. Let's see how far you can make it in. Much higher bullet density than in loop 1. And he's down an Autobomb on stage 1. Loop 2, as you can see, also has the introduction of enemies with additional laser cannon, laser pods, forcing you to use your own laser to counter and slow down your movement more often. Much denser boss patterns. He's taking out the tanks on the side to keep his hit counter up. And streaming bullets, hurting them off screen. I'm using a hyper to get through that sticky spot there, so he doesn't have to use an Autobomb. With this hyper laser, you can definitely deal some good damage to this boss. Using shot to cancel bullets and increase his hit. And taking 2 hits on stage 1 boss. He's really going to need these bombs if he wants to get through this second loop. Show a little bit more care to these boss patterns. Using a hyper to get through safely. Speed killing those enemies is very suboptimal. He should be using these bullets to increase his hit counter. There we go, that's a little bit more effective. A little bit more efficient. And luckily he gets out of hyper right before those semi-large enemies for increased score. Alright, don't take any hits, Eric. Respect the threat zone. He's sitting underneath that right gun to decrease the spread of the bullets there. Oh, and as you can see on stage 2, that boss also deploys the laser pods. Streaming the helicopter hits. This upcoming section with all these lasers, let's see what Loop 2 has in store for him with all the additional lasers he's going to see here. See, this is a much better approach he's using this time. Increasing his hit counter, allowing those enemies to deploy bullets on screen. And then no problem dealing with the additional lasers here due to the hyper. And he takes a hit. Luckily, there's a bomb carrier coming up that he'll be able to refill with, but this is not looking great for Hell. And he goes straight for the bombs. Doesn't even, you see, players should really be trying to drop all their bombs on a boss before they pick up the bomb carrier. Some really squeaky dodges there. Oh. But he's not able to handle this. See, you wish you had a hyper here, don't you? Just going through bombs. Luckily, he hit that second score extend here at some point in stage 2. And then just sitting off to the side to try to avoid bullets and have the bullets spread out. It's not a bad strategy. Oh, how did he take that hit? I didn't even see that. Stage 2 boss down. No bombs. Used all of them in that fight. 2 extends. Now luckily there is another extend in this next stage, but there's no more score extends to be had. So he has 4 lives total for the rest of this loop. And with a TLB waiting for him at the end, he's gonna have a tough time. Using the hyper to clear those blue needles. And now this part of the stage really gets tricky with these 2 battleships coming up. But with that death that he had some iframes, bullet cancels. And he's sitting on a hyper that he could use to get through this next zone. Be a good idea to use one right here and build up those hits as much as he can. So he's sitting off to the side here to allow enemies to come on screen. Shifting over to the left to allow for the ship to shoot at him, and then before the hyper ends, just taking him out. And here we see that he's no longer on the alternate route. He gets the typical stage 3 mid-boss. There were some good dodges in there. Streaming with the laser and then restreaming. See, that was a pretty good dodge. But why did he go up there? Alright, bit of an early activation on this hyper with the extend coming up. If you want to safely secure this extend, you should hold on to the hyper a little bit longer, but Maybe it'll last out to the washing machine. Here's the washing machine. Let's see it and take it out as quickly as he can. Yeah, the hyper is out. We get a bullet cancel, and he's able to clear it just in the nick of time and secure that extend. And a bomb carrier here. And it looks like this time he's sitting back, and he's going to use some bombs before he grabs this bomb pickup. There we go. That was a good manual bomb, and he picks it up before it floats off screen. I think he could have got a couple more loops out of it, but it's hard to keep track of that sort of thing. Another manual bomb. Good decision. And finding a way through those whips. Now, Hell's always struggled with this section here, so let's see how he does. An Autobomb, and then able to find his way through the gaps there. Using a hyper to clear the bullets there and making sure to use laser since there's those targeted stage 3 boss laser cannons. And we're on to stage 4. Oh, that was a mistake, taking that hit there. And you can see that there's some suicide bullets that happen on Loop 2 as well, where killing those enemies spawn to those purple shuriken lasers. Purple shuriken shots. Oh, that was good. Just stand still and letting the bullets go around. If only I had a higher hit count to take out that large guy. Those guys are worth a lot of points. But he engages the hyper here to rack up some hits against these blue needles. You gotta pulse the laser, take care of that red laser from these tanks. And the lasers are a lot more aggressive in Loop 2. Tracking your ship. There you can see that by just standing still, you can let the shots kind of go around your ship, only dodging when necessary. Oh, he's going for a macro dodge around that large pattern and finds a way. This would be a good time to hyper. He would have saved a bomb and he would have increased his hits significantly more. Instead, his hit counter is reduced to 0 and he's got to start over in the middle of stage 4. This is a highly scoring stage as well, so suboptimal play. Alright, absorb those blue needles, increase your hit counter. He could have also used his hyper there to cancel out the lasers from all those turrets to massively increased counter, but it doesn't look like Hell is familiar with that. Instead of immediately killing those enemies, he could be using his hyper to cancel their lasers, increasing his hit counter. A side note, I don't know if it actually works that way in like that in Novice, but it sure as heck does in Black Label. You're gonna really rack up your hits there. I also want to give out a tip that if you want to see a great run of Novice mode, you should look up videos by Daring Spino. His are terrific. He's like a Novice master. Probably holding some of the high, if not the world record high scores, probably close. No, that was a poor set of misdirects of the boss's pod. And now we're into the final phase of this boss. Just raining bullets. Oh, that's juicy. There we go. Get out of those pink bullets. And he's able to kill the boss before that pattern gets out of control. Hell must be getting warmed up because I think we're seeing some better stage boss clears from him in this second loop than we did in the first loop. And he was also able to get out of stage 4 with no hits and a fairly decent amount of bombs. So let's see how he does on this stage 5. Streaming bullets, and now onto this tank. And he takes a hit. That would have been a good place to use a hyper. Or here. Before you take a hit. Hell, use the hyper. This section is terrific for building hits. Another bomb down. And facing stage 5. Mid-boss 1. This mid-boss can be a real pain. He's very aggressive. Much harder than the alternative first mid-boss on the alt route. But with the hyper, he's able to clear him very quickly. And we're on to the suicide rushers. Let's see if he can get through this without taking a hit. No. Still has the laser wheels to go through, and only one extend. Based on the replays we've seen of Hell playing Black Label Novice, he would be seeing a game over before the next mid-boss. This would be a good time to bomb. I don't know if that was a manual or Autobomb there, but this section's a lot easier. Just watch out for those pods. Don't get hit by the pods themselves. Maybe another bomb? No, a hyper? Okay. Through safely. that's the end of the hyper. And that laser comes out with such aggression on loop 2. And whenever you cancel the lasers, you can see that it's spawning sort of revenge bullets. Pulsing shot and laser to move quickly. Move up and redirect the enemy. Or misdirect the enemy. Oh, I just taken that one on the chin. Bit of a wasted hyper here. He had that building to destroy for a bullet cancel. He could have gotten out safely with that alone. And then you're given respite on that part of the level and that part of this section, and it's a wasted hyper. His routing was off for this part of the laser wheels, and now we're going to see him use a couple bombs to get through. With these revenge bullets popping up, it can get tough to get out of there, but he made it out. And luckily he's sitting on a hyper for this. Now just get in the middle and just cancel a bunch of bullets. There we go. Engaging the laser on that purple pod and getting a lot of hits from it. Is there any way that he's going to make it to the next bomb carrier to refill his bombs? Creating some pretty good gaps there. Some pretty erratic movements, though. Maybe Hell should have another beer. Highly doubt that would actually improve my skills. Definitely would reduce them. And a manual bomb there. Right before picking up the bomb pickup. Beautiful big juicy stars. There we go, killing some of the laser turrets. Little redirect there, and then, oh, that section is thick. And a manual bomb at the last second. Good. Not able to take out that. There we go, there's the last laser turret. Alright, and with this big cannon battleship, is he going to be able to get through this without a hyper? I'm imagining he's going to take a hit, but there is another bomb carrier coming up. Okay, able to dodge through it. That wasn't too tricky. This is the home stretch before that boss. Alright, gonna let the bombs sit out there for a bit and just pelt on this boss. A manual bomb, get up close for some aura hits. Another manual bomb, get up on there for some more aura hits. Just keep that going. Skip the next phase. Oh my gosh, why wouldn't you just bomb? That was pretty clutch though. Use a bomb, yes. He should really be getting up there and using the aura for additional damage. It does about 2 times damage to use the aura as well. Three capsule clusters. Oh. Oh my gosh, the aggression of those explosions. Shooty is relentless. Lots of slowdown here, even using laser. Oh, that was a big mistake there. And he's on his last life now. This is not the kind of setup for success that you want entering the TLB. The general is not pleased. He says he is, but it's bullshit. The big B. Here you can see he's sitting underneath that spiraling cannon on the right side to reduce the complexity of the pattern to dodge through. Just some fine micro dodges to get around those, and a fumble making his way through those laser columns. Now this section just requires you bomb through. I've never seen anyone get through it without using a bomb or a hyper, unless they skip the phase. But he's holding off as long as possible, and he uses an Autobomb. Another mistake. And another Autobomb. You should really be using it. And another Autobomb? Should really be using some bombs to deal more damage to the boss. You don't want to hold on to your bombs that strongly. And no bombs left, and that is the end of this credit. That's the end of this run. But it was well played. 2 loops. TLB attempt. Oh, he's just going to use a continue just to see the end of this boss. But that was a new PB, and got through loop 2. Again, I'm happy with it. It was out of nowhere. My skills have definitely come a long way since I started playing these games, and it has been a ton of fun. I cannot get enough of DoDonPachi. This is, what, my first video on the channel for it, but it's actually my most played shmup. I just don't post anything because I don't get clears. So I just play a bunch of Black Label and get smashed. But oh wow. Just Should really be using manual bombs more. But thank you all for watching, and I hope that watching my first clear has been enjoyable, and for any newbies out there that maybe it was helpful to see some commentary for this. The first loop is honestly pretty basic. I want to say the first time I played this game, I got to stage 3 or 4 on my first credit. It was probably like stage 5 is a bitch with the laser wheels, so maybe it was a 3 or 4 credit clear my first time playing. And then I got a clear on this game within maybe like 10 hours or so, maybe 15 hours. So Novice is not too bad. Novice Black Label, on the other hand, with Autobomb off, I find it freaking impossible. I've gotten the clear a couple of times, but I want to get the clear with the TLB before I post on the channel. And I don't know why I'm doing that. It's just, I've cleared it, but not the way that I want to clear it. My goal is the TLB clear. Autobomb off. And I'm so close. I get to the TLB and then I die. And I just don't play consistently enough, but anyway. Excuses, excuses. This is a beautiful game. Again, highly recommend this one. It's totally worth the price. It has unbelievable amount of content. If you like the presentation of the game, then I just say, get it. It's tremendous. And it's a great game for learning how to play shmups, how to get better. It has a very clear ladder of challenges that you can face to continually improve yourself. So I might as well go over those now in this video. What I would recommend to new players that are getting this game and just want to see themselves progress and go through challenges in a logical order is you want to do Novice 1.5, 1-all, then a Black Label Autobomb clear, then a Novice 1.5, 2-all, then a Black Label Autobomb off clear, and then 1.5, then Black Label, same story. And on Novice 1.5, you want to use a strong style, and in Black Label, you want to use bomb. In Black Label, if you use power or strong, it increases the bullet density by a noticeable margin. So you can play with those two to increase the difficulty of your runs and give yourself more challenges to progress through. But I hope you enjoyed my run, and you all take care. Peace.